So I'm just going to take you round some of the areas that we had problems with when we first arrived in this cottage.
The chimney needed an overhaul.
We had an area in the alcove,
A damp patch in the corner.
we had an area under the stairs behind me.
That wall was dripping wet.
And we had in the upstairs bedroom, the ceiling and the wall.
We had a lot of water damage from the leaking chimney. And we also had the downstairs floor.
I'm going to go through each one by one and talk you through what we had and how we dealt with it.
The chimney was cracked and crumbling, so we hacked off all the loose stuff and then we replastered it with the sand cement mix. And we treated it with Thompson's water seal. This was probably one of the main damp issues we had in the cottage, as it was letting the water down through the chimney stack, down the wall, onto the ceiling in the bedroom, and then it had made its way down into the kitchen wall. Once this work was completed and the roof was sealed, that allowed us then to concentrate on the damage that was done on the inside. By far and away the worst damp we had in the whole cottage was the wall underneath the staircase. It was absolutely soaking to touch.
Hi guys, I think just wanted to have a little chat about our friend damp. Probably no damp proof course at all in here. So, you know, if you've got no damp proof course, you'll get rising damp. It'll come up from the ground and come up usually around 1 metre, and that's why they usually hack off the plaster to about 1 metre, treat it. Usually with rising damp these days, they try and drill and inject it with chemicals to stop the damp coming up. You've got a tanking method where you can put a waterproof seal, so effectively you're still going to have the damp, but it's not going to be able to come through. So this wall I noticed was really damp. It had plasterboard on it. I ripped the plasterboard off and literally down the bottom was soaking wet. I filled all the holes. That it looks like they tried to do a injection on it. I naturally assumed that it would be rising damp, but it was so wet that I was a little bit cautious that there wasn't a leak going on. So it turns out there's a toilet the other side, and I thought, oh, I wonder if there's a leak there. So I went the other side, had a little look, no leak at all. It was bone dry. Whilst I was looking in the side window there, I noticed that this floor level was below the one outside, and then the penny dropped. Why? It was so damp up to about here. This is penetrating damp. This is coming through the wall this way, not this way. So if you imagine that the ground level's around here, the other side, you know, anything under the floor is just coming straight through. There's no damp course on this. There's no cavity, no nothing. It's straight on the ground outside, so it just penetrates right through. That then allowed me to make a decision about how I was going to treat it. So the only way we can treat this really is to tank it, to seal it, to stop it coming through. So that's what I'm going to do on this wall. I've let it breathe and it's dried out a hell of a lot, but it's still damp to touch. Just the previous people must have assumed it was rising damp because they've tried to inject it with chemicals, because I could see all the holes along here. But obviously they didn't spot that it was actually penetrating damp. So I'm going to use a tanking, and this is the one here. It's a Bostik cement tanking slurry, they call it. So I'm going to show you how I mix up and what I'm going to do. It's a 2-coat method, and basically make up a slurry and you paint it on. So that's what we're going to do now. I've prepared all the area. I've scraped off anything that's loose. I've filled the holes. Obviously you don't want any holes because of the water. If they're not sealed properly, the water can come through. So that's the plan. So let's get the stuff mixed up and I'll show you how we apply it. Right, I'm not going to use all this bag, so try and carefully open it. going to start applying the slurry now. Remember, it's a 2-coat system, and it's quite a wet one for the first coat. I'm going to do the whole wall. Probably don't need it, but because this is under the stairs, it might be a bit more susceptible to the damp because not a huge amount of airflow.
So you apply the coats at 90 degrees to each other. This is what's recommended on the instructions.
That toilet wall comes in about here. So it wasn't worse as it went over that way. It wasn't too bad over here, so I don't expect to have too many problems coming this way, if you see what I mean.
So after the tanking had dried, completely dried, then we applied a sand cement render on top of it.
So this was a success story in the corner here. If you literally, this wall was soaking wet to touch. Little vent in there that gets a bit of airflow, so if there was anything going on under there where it's boxed in, it would be able to breathe a bit. This is the finished result. This has been done now for a good couple of months, if not more, and as you can see, dry as a bone, no issues whatsoever. And in this alcove corner, just in the bottom corner here, we had, if you can remember, we had some damp issues that we actually treated with some blackjack.
When we lifted the floor, we found a damp patch in the corner of the alcove.
I've used some blackjack, standard blackjack. I think I got it from a tool station. It's thick, gooey, tarry stuff. As you can see, consistency is really thick and gooey. And you know, it's been used in the past for waterproofing stuff. Yeah, no evidence or symptoms of any kind of damp coming in there now. I think the source of it was probably from the outside. I'll go and show you that in a second. But as far as the inside's concerned, totally dry, happy with that. So this is the other side of where the alcove was, and I think that this was where the source of that damp coming in the corner was. So what we did to address it was we put a little sand cement skirt around, basically to stop the water from congregating right at the bottom. So as you can see, so now it comes down and it takes it off the crease at the bottom of between the floor and the wall, and then we put some blackjack on it, a couple of coats of blackjack. Seems to have sealed it up really nicely, not getting issues around the back in the alcove like we were before.
This was the damage caused by the leak in the chimney. It had come down, stained all the ceiling and got behind the wall. The plaster was damp and crumbling on that wall, so we hacked it all off to expose the stone wall underneath. To add a bit of character, we decided that that wall should be pointed in, not replastered, to make it a feature wall. We completed this wall after pointing with a stone sealer. The stone sealer just seals the stone in, just stabilises it, and it also stops any stains.
And if you can remember, the ceiling here was in a really bad state, where the water had come down over a period of time, damaged it, really stained it, and it wasn't looking good at all. So it was right in this corner as well, so we can have a look in here. So now, all I really did with this was use the stain block, put a couple of coats on it and emulsioned it. You do have to be a little bit careful when you're doing water stains. If you don't use the correct stuff, the staining, and you just put emulsion over it, the staining will burn back through. So really happy with that as well.
Downstairs in the kitchen, we did exactly the same. We hacked off the plaster, raked out the joints and pointed it in. It was a laborious task, but it was well worth it in the end.
These are the tools I use for the pointing. So you've obviously got a float there,
and the gauging trowel. So in the finer, smaller sort of gaps, we've got these types of gauging trowels that you can use, and these ones which are all, if you see, they're all different sizes. So I've got some muck made up, I've got the pointing tools, and I've got a little float which I'm going to put the sand cement on. Got quite big gaps here, so I'm going to have to get quite a lot of muck in there. So I'm using a little trowel like that and a hawk, and sort of the technique is put it up and put it in. Make sure you get a good mix that's nice and sticky. Again, in the kitchen, this wall was in pretty bad state in terms of damp, so we decided to hack it all off. This is below where we had the issue with the ceiling as well, even though it's, you know, it's come right down to the first floor. But hacked it off, repointed it, and it's really turned out as a nice feature. No sign of any damp coming through. Obviously, the source of the damp has been addressed, and we have sorted out the roof and the chimney, so all nice and dry here. So one issue I still have got is this by the front door. This was like it when I first came. Not entirely sure what it is. So we've sealed the door, I've painted the outside. There's no obvious sign of where it's coming in, but there's something going on, and the emulsion that I've put on there has just peeled off again, and that's exactly the same line as when I first came in. And I noticed it's also on this side as well, this side of the door. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some stain cover on it. So this is a product like a heavy duty primer, I suppose, that is specifically for these types of issues where, you know, you've got the paint sort of burning off, the emulsion burning off, something's going on underneath. It's not dry, it's not wet at all, it doesn't feel wet, but there's something going on, and the paint's flaking. It's a really, really thick wall, so anything could be happening there. So I'm going to paint this stuff on, and then that will seal it, and then that will give us a base to put the emulsion back on. Right, so that's on there now. We'll leave that overnight, and then we'll come back tomorrow and we'll put some emulsion on it. This floor was damp and lifting and had to come up. This revealed another problem, because the floor screed that was underneath was very thin. It was literally only like 2 inches thin, no damp course on it at all. So we had to make a decision about what we were going to do. We decided the best option was to tile it. So that meant laying a self-leveling floor screed to try and level the floor off, because it was quite undulating and there was a few dips in it. Slate tiled floor with waterproof adhesive. This would then stop any rising damp issues coming up through the floor. Silk 125 self-leveling compound. So it's got all the instructions of how to mix it up. Basically you mix it up into a nice thin slurry, and you pour it out onto the floor. A nice big bucket, mix it up in. Got my paddle here that I'll be using to mix up in the bucket, and follow the instructions on the bag. This floor, as it should be, nice and dust free and bit free, and then I'm going to PVA it. So I'll get cracking with that. PVA is a sort of heavy duty builder's glue, and what it does, it seals and it gives a good surface to bond onto. It can be diluted with water to get the required strength, and it is painted on.
So roughly 3.5 litres of water.
The maximum depth you can do on this self-leveling compound is 10 millimeters. If you wanted to build up any higher than that, you could do another pour. So you could do a second pour on top of this one. This would then allow us to lay a slate tiled floor with waterproof adhesive. With the issue of the floor having no damp-proof course, the waterproof adhesive would solve the rising damp issues coming up through the floor, and the slate tiles would give us the cottage feel we were looking for.
So all in all, guys, I'm really pleased with the way that we attacked the damp. We got to the source of the issue. We worked out what sort of damp it was and where it was coming from, and we treated it in various different ways. And on the whole, it's been super successful. Just got the little issue over there in the door, by the door over my shoulder, that we've put the stain block on now, so hopefully we can come back once that's dry and put a bit of emulsion on it, and that'll be that, and that'll be the whole lot done. Like I say, now this is a few months after it's finished, so it's had time and plenty of rain as we all know. If it was going to come in, I think it probably would have done already. Like always, if you enjoyed the video, please give us the thumbs up down in the corner, and consider subscribing to the channel and watching some of my other content. Thanks, guys.